Exclusive contracted novel by Feilu Novel Network. Honghuang. Overwhelming understanding, this yellow dragon is too stable. Once traversing the world of floods and wastelands, he became Huang Long, the disciple personally passed down by Yuan Shi Tian Zun. What? Am I Huang Long? Is it the Four Immortals without apprentices, abilities, treasures, and achievements? And because he comes from the dragon clan and has a huge amount of karma, at this moment, he said that since that's the case, let's be a salted fish. At least with the protection of the Primordial Heavenly Sovereign, he won't die. Just as he was preparing to make salted fish, he awakened his supernatural intelligence. With a rebellious understanding, self-created techniques, and self-created supernatural powers. Consolidate the source of karmic fire with one's own karmic power, eliminate one's own karmic power, and break through boundaries along the way. Conquering the dragon clan as wings, entering the heavenly court as the Great Emperor. Opening up the underworld to seek merit and saving the fortune of the human race. Do not tilt the mountain, only hold hands and tilt the sky. The end of the witch demon calamity and the opening of the divine calamity. Huang Long used his techniques to turn his hand into a cloud and cover it with rain during the measurement of calamity. Feilu Novel Network reminds you that this novel and its characters are purely fictional. If there are any similarities, they are purely coincidental and should not be imitated. Chapter 1. I am Huang Long, for no true people. New. You are listening at novelfull.audio. In the desolate world, at the foot of Kunlun mountains, within a cave. A person wearing a yellow gossip robe sat cross-legged on a stone bed. The Taoist slowly opened his eyes and looked around. Where is this? With this question, a memory flooded into his mind. The vastness of this memory directly plunged him into a coma. It took him a long time to wake up and turn around. That memory had been absorbed by him, and through it, he knew that the owner of this body was named Huang Long, with the same name and surname as him. Huang Long is a disciple of the head of the elucidation sect, Yuan Shi Tian Zun, but he is the most despised disciple of Yuan Shi Tian Zun because he has been under his sect for thousands of years and his cultivation has not improved significantly. In the teachings of Chan, only Yuding and Yunzongzi were close to him, while the rest looked down upon him. Why do you look down on him? It is because of his cultivation level that he was admitted to the sect of Yuan Shi Tian Zun. For thousands of years, his cultivation level has not improved at all. Huang Long was born into the dragon clan. Due to the sanctity of the Yuan Shi Heavenly Sovereign and the need to collect disciples from the vast and desolate world, Huang Long heard this message and ran out of the dragon clan, despite the long journey, to come to Kunlun mountain. After many trials and tribulations, he finally became a disciple of the Yuan Shi Heavenly Sovereign and became a saint. Huang Long became a disciple of Yuan Shi Tian Zun at first, but due to his background, Yuan Shi Tian Zun was somewhat unhappy. Later, due to 1,000 years of cultivation, he only made progress, resulting in a group of disciples who were not close to him except for Yuding and Yunzongzi. 1,000 years ago, the Heavenly Sovereign of Yuan Shi passed down the Jade Void scripture, instructing everyone to practice. When Huang Long received the Jade Void scripture, he was overjoyed. Without it, the scripture was passed down by sages and could lead to the Great Way. After obtaining the Jade Void scripture, Huang Long directly converted the magical power of the Imperial Water scripture he had practiced into the magical power of the Jade Void scripture. The Yuxu manual is just a Taoist technique at the level of the Great Luo Golden Immortal. How can it compare with the sage-level Taoist technique? After the transformation is completed, Huang Long shows signs of breaking through his cultivation. Huang Long saw that there were signs of breakthrough in the realm he had been unable to break through for thousands of years, so he was naturally pleased and prepared to break through. But it was because of the immense karmic power of the dragon clan. When it broke through, it was backfired by the karmic power, leading to the direct extinction of its original spirit and being occupied by him in this physical body. After understanding the background of the owner of this body, he couldn't help but frown. I have become the yellow dragon. That four no real people without apprentices, abilities, treasures, and achievements. And the yellow dragon with a huge karmic power. At this moment, he couldn't help but frown and let out a helpless sigh. It's okay, it's okay. As long as it's here, let's take it easy. At least, Huang Long is one of the disciples of Yuan Shi Tian Zun's lineage. After the battle of sealing gods, he still roams freely between heaven and earth. This indicates that he has no worries about his life at least. Furthermore, although Yuan Shi Tian Zun does not like him, he is still his disciple. With his protective and face-saving nature, if he really has something to do, Yuan Shi Tian Zun will definitely come forward. Huang Long couldn't help but smile as he thought of this. Since he had no worries about his life, as long as he remained calm and stable, there shouldn't be anything wrong in this vast world. At this moment, Huang Long was organizing his original memories. After careful examination, he already knew that the Yuan Shen was just a true immortal realm, while his senior brothers and sisters were at the peak of the Xianxian realm. Among them, the eldest senior brother, Guang Qingzi, had even reached the Golden Immortal realm. Moreover, everyone has been under the tutelage of Yuan Shi Tian Zun for more than 5,000 years. Only after he entered the sect did he not make any progress in his spiritual cultivation, while the rest of them quickly advanced into the realm. Don't forget, where is this? It's Kunlun Mountain, the top heaven and fortune in the wasteland. Its teacher is the sage in the wasteland, the top existence in the wasteland. Having such an advantage, his spiritual cultivation has not made any progress, and it cannot be blamed that Yuan Shi Tian Zun did not like him. Helplessly shaking his head, he then began to examine the Jade Void scripture taught by Yuan Shi Tian Zun. Just as he was examining the Jade Void scripture, a voice rang in his ear. Ding! Anti-heavenly understanding has been activated, and it has been detected that the host is reviewing the saint-level Taoist technique Jade Void manual, which can be understood. Huang Long listened to the sound and a smile appeared on his face, causing him to burst out laughing. Ha ha ha! Has my system been credited yet? With the help of the heavens, doesn't that mean I'm in charge of my future? Overwhelming comprehension, not bad, not bad. Do I still need a magic weapon now that I have an incredible understanding? Do I still fear karma? Will I still not have powerful divine powers? Will I still not achieve success? There are 3,000 paths in the wilderness, time is king, space is revered, thunder is the master of destruction, and the path of power is the leader. With this incredible understanding, why can't I give it a try? As long as one comprehends this sage-level Taoist method and finds a way to solve one's own karma, then in the future, one's own Taoist cultivation can rapidly improve. As long as the karma is resolved, in the future, there will still be those four no real people, who have no disciples, no abilities, no magic weapons, and no achievements. In the future, it can be said that even if one cannot prove themselves, they can also achieve the Tao and roam freely between the vastness of heaven and earth. After some contemplation, I finally returned to reality. Nowadays, he is just a small true immortal, still thinking about achieving enlightenment in the future. What he needs most now is to first solve his own karmic problems. Thinking of this, Huang Long began to comprehend. He hopes to comprehend the method of resolving karma from this sage-level Taoist technique, the Jade Void scripture. He believes that saints must have a way to solve karmic problems. If not, then he can only plan for the power of merit and use it to dissipate his own karmic power. However, this merit is not so easy to plan. In today's vast world, the demon race occupies 30.3 levels of heaven and establishes the supreme demon court. Emperor Jun is the demon race emperor, Eastern Emperor Tai is the demon race demon emperor, and Fu Shi and Nu are both the emperors of the demon race. Below them, there are also powerful figures such as the demon master Kunlun, the military master Baze, and the top 10 demon gods, all of whom are quasi-saints. Among them, Nu has proven her position as a saint and become a saint of the heavenly way. The vast land is occupied by the witches. The 12 ancestors of the witches were transformed by the essence and blood of Pangu's heart, with a naturally strong body comparable to innate spiritual treasures. There are also hundreds of great witches under them, among which the best are comparable to quasi-holy powers. The 12 ancestors of the Wu clan also have a formation called the 12 Capital Heavenly God Sha formation. If it is arranged, it can even fight against the Heavenly Tao Sage, which can be said to be weak in strength. And he is just a small true immortal. There are countless crises in the vast world, and even a small crisis could make him disappear from this vast world. At this moment, he can only place his hope within the holy man-level Taoist technique Yuxu true scripture, hoping to have a way to solve his own karma. Otherwise, everything is just empty talk. P.S. The new book sets sail. Kneel down and beg everyone to cast some flowers, evaluate tickets, monthly tickets, and give rewards. Even a single flower, an evaluation ticket, 100 tips, or a monthly pass can do it. I hope everyone can greatly support me. Chapter 2. Self-created cultivation techniques and 3 major divine powers. New. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Huang Long gazed at the Jade Void scripture, possessing a rebellious understanding. At this moment, he had already begun to comprehend the Jade Void scripture. How profound the sage-level Taoist teachings are, he said that he couldn't understand a single word, and even if he understood it, he couldn't understand its meaning. Although he has an incredible understanding, he doesn't need to worry about these things. At this point, he is already seriously contemplating. He stared at the Jade Void scripture and began to slowly comprehend it. 10 years later. Congratulations on comprehending the Jade Void Manual and the Jade Clear God Thunder technique. 50 years later, congratulations to you for comprehending the Jade Void Manual and realizing the body refining technique Zun Huangdi, the Luo Jin Xian level. 100 years later, congratulations to you for comprehending the Jade Void Manual, at the level of the Great Luo Golden Immortal. 150 years later, as you have fully understood the Jade Void Manual, congratulations on creating the 9 transformations Pure Yuan Manual, the Luo Jin Xian level. However, due to Huang Long's current Taoist cultivation, even if he had a supernatural understanding, he could only comprehend and create the Great Luo Golden Immortal level martial arts. The reason why Huang Long wanted to create his own cultivation method is because although the Jade Void scripture is a saint-level Taoist method, his teacher, Yuan Shi Tian Zun, has already proven the sage's path. If he practices the Jade Void scripture, he will at most reach the height of Yuan Shi Tian Zun, or even not reach the height of Yuan Shi Tian Zun. And Huang Long has an incredible understanding, how could he be so willing? As long as one solves their own karmic problems, they will inevitably be able to practice like normal people. In this way, their state of cultivation can definitely be quickly broken through. At this moment, Huang Long, due to his rebellious nature, is no longer willing to be ordinary, but wants to break through his own world. Now, while watching the Jade Void scripture, he has already created a method that suits his cultivation, but these methods cannot solve his own karmic problems. Therefore, this problem still troubles him. Huang Long looked at the Jade Void scripture, feeling very unwilling, and began to observe it again. He believed that there must be a way to solve karmic problems within this Jade Void scripture, but he had not yet realized it. The divine power of a sage is unpredictable. With just one word, the sage embodies the laws of heaven and earth. The sage is the representative of the heavenly way and undoubtedly has a way to solve karmic problems. The Jade Void True Scripture is a cultivation technique created by the Primordial Heavenly Sovereign. It is a sage-level cultivation technique that encompasses all aspects. Currently, it is only in the realm of true immortality, and with the help of an anti-heavenly understanding, it is possible to comprehend the Great Luo Golden Immortal level cultivation technique. There are certainly many things within it that he has not yet comprehended. With this thought in mind, Huang Long once again began to speculate about the Jade Void scripture. This time, he changed his perspective and no longer viewed from his own perspective, but from the perspective of a third party. In this way, he was able to rely on his supernatural understanding to once again observe the other truths contained in the Jade Void Manual. As Huang Long regained his understanding, time passed unconsciously. 10 years later. Congratulations to you for comprehending the Jade Void Manual and realizing the divine power of the immortal dragon spirit. 50 years later, congratulations to you for comprehending the Jade Void Manual and realizing the divine power of dragon breaking through the 9 heavens. 100 years later, congratulations on your understanding of the Jade Void scripture, which has caused you to burn the heavens with karmic fire. Time flies like a white horse, 100 years pass by in a hurry. Over the course of 100 years, Huang Long has come to understand 3 great powers. The immortal spirit of the dragon breaking through the 9 heavens, and the burning of karma and fire. Among them, the divine power that delighted him the most was the burning of the heavens with fire. The dragon spirit does not destroy its body, using itself as a tool, refining its own flesh with great magic, and sacrificing and refining itself into a spiritual treasure. In this way, it is a spiritual treasure, but it shares similarities with the Xianhuang body. Zuanhuangti is a body refining technique, and this dragon spirit does not destroy its body. It also uses itself as a tool to exercise itself and refine itself into a spiritual treasure. If he truly succeeds, even without spiritual treasures, he is not afraid of anyone. The dragon breaks through the 9 heavens, but a sound wave attacks the divine power, using its own dragon chant to harm the human spirit. If there is no spiritual treasure to protect oneself, a single dragon chant can directly silence the human spirit. Of course, with his current true immortal strength, at most he can use the sound of dragon chants to silence the people in the Xianxian realm, even without the protection of spiritual treasures. If its strength is strong enough to reach the realm of the Great Luo Golden Immortal or even the quasi-holy realm, then this dragon chant can make the same realm's Great Luo Golden Immortal or quasi-holy realm strong spirits disappear directly, provided that it does not have a protective spiritual treasure. The burning of karma, however, was the most joyful and powerful power that he had always wanted to solve his own karmic problems. Using one's own karmic power as the source, ignite the karmic power, and condense it into a source of karmic fire. Based on this, when facing enemies in the future, directly use the source of karmic fire to attack and kill them. And if an enemy is infected with a source of karmic fire, they will be ignited with their own karmic power. They have never practiced this divine power, and can only be burned alive by the ignited karmic power. At this moment, Huang Long realized this divine power from the Jade Void scripture, but finally no longer had to worry about his own karma. The fire of the industry burns the sky, and its power is incredibly powerful. However, in order to successfully cultivate it, there are also very difficult conditions, which is the need for the 3 light divine water. When practicing, immerse oneself in the 3 light divine water, protect oneself with the power of the 3 light divine water, ignite one's own karmic power with the power of the Yuan Shen, and then burn one's own karmic power. Repeat this process until the karmic power is completely burned, leaving only the purest source of karmic fire. In this way, the cultivation can be successful. And the 3 light divine water is the golden sunlight divine water, the silver moonlight divine water, and the purple starlight divine water. The combination of the 3 is the first healing medicine in the wilderness, which can relieve all poisons and overcome all so-called incurable poisons. It can also treat all wounds, even flesh and bones, and live to death. Of course, living to death is just an exaggeration, but its healing effect ranks first in the vast world. At this moment, Huang Long felt a headache. The 3 light divine water was the first healing holy potion in the wilderness. Where should he go to find it? Thinking about it, I couldn't help but look towards the top of Kunlun mountain. The top of Kunlun mountain is the place where the Yuan Shi Heavenly Sovereign resided. These personally transmitted disciples all lived on the mountainside or at the foot of Kunlun mountain. Yuan Shi Tian Zun is a sage of the heavenly way, and in his hands, there must be the 3 lights divine water. In order to solve his own karma, he knew that Yuan Shi Tian Zun did not like him, but he could only grit his head and go. After Huang Long made a decision, he stepped out of his cave and headed towards the top of Kunlun mountain, preparing to seek the three lights divine water from the Yuan Shi Heavenly Sovereign. P.S. The new book sets sail. Kneel down and beg everyone to cast some flowers, evaluate tickets, monthly tickets, and give rewards. Even a single flower, an evaluation ticket, 100 tips, or a monthly pass can do it. I hope everyone can greatly support me. Chapter 3. Encountering Jade Cauldron on the road, Yuxu Palace on the peak of Kunlun Mountain. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. Huang Long walked out of the cave and looked towards the top of Kunlun Mountain. Halfway up the Kunlun Mountains, shrouded in clouds and mist, one could only see a hazy area. Kunlun Mountain is the top blessed land and cave of the vast and desolate world. When Huang Long looked at Kunlun Mountain, he could only see that the innate spiritual energy was extremely strong, with clouds and clouds surrounding the mountainside. Thousands of cranes roam the sky, countless grass and wood elves run around on the ground, and there are also many exotic beasts practicing in the Kunlun Mountains. Strange flowers and plants can be seen everywhere, and innate elixirs can be found everywhere. Several spiritual springs are flowing with spring water, flowing towards both sides. After watching for a while, Huang Long headed towards the top of Kunlun Mountain. He could have flown directly to the mountaintop to pay his respects to the Heavenly Emperor Yuanshi, but at this moment, he had a slight desire to explore and climbed up the Kunlun Mountains. Huang Long climbed and toured, but before he knew it, he climbed halfway up the mountain. As he was walking upwards, he could hear the voice calling out to him. Huang Long junior brother, why did you come? Aren't you practicing in seclusion at the foot of the mountain? Huang Long heard the call and looked towards the source of the sound, but saw the Jade Ding walking towards it. Senior brother Yuding, I am in seclusion at the foot of the mountain and have been unable to break through for a long time. I have some doubts in my heart and am preparing to go to the Yuxu Palace to ask the teacher. After absorbing the memories of his original body, Huang Long recognized a group of people who were preaching and also knew that Yuding was quite close to him. However, because the two met on the road and learned that they were studying for the Yuan Shi sage, they walked together and worshipped the Yuan Shi Heavenly Master. With this experience, Yuding is quite close to Huang Long. Upon hearing that Huang Long was going to visit Yuan Shi Tian Zun in the Yuxu Palace on the mountaintop, Yuding smiled. Junior brother, I'm also preparing to visit the teacher. Since that's the case, let's go together. Upon hearing this, Huang Long smiled on his face. Since senior brother wants to pay respects to the teacher, he will go with senior brother. However, Huang Long felt a sense of joy in his heart. Originally, he was still a bit uneasy. He visited the Heavenly Lord Yuan Shi alone and asked him for the three radiances divine water. He didn't know if the Heavenly Lord Yuan Shi would bestow it, but it would be different if he went with the Jade Cauldron. The Jade tripod is powerful and has a strong understanding. When it was under the sect of the Yuan Shi Heavenly Master, it was a celestial cultivation. Now it is the pinnacle of the Xianxian realm, and it is faintly about to break through the realm of the Golden Immortal. Yuan Shi Tian Zun also had a great fondness for the Jade tripod. He saw that the Jade tripod had good footwork and specially taught it a cultivation technique to cultivate. At this moment, Huang Long doesn't care whether Yuding is accompanying him to meet Yuan Shi Tian Zun on the mountaintop, or whether it's because he really has something to do and wants to go meet Yuan Shi Tian Zun. Anyway, as long as Yuding goes with him, that's the best. The two of them walked towards the top of the mountain together, and in no time, they had already reached the top of Kunlun Mountain. Huang Long looked towards the mountaintop and saw the palace ahead, his eyes couldn't help but show a sense of amazement. Above the palace, there is a golden spirit as the top, and countless wild beasts are depicted on the flying eaves above. These wild beasts are all living lifelike, as if they are real, extremely majestic. Huang Long and Yuding walked towards the front, and the two walked inside the palace. Huang Long glanced at the palace and saw that above the cloud top, there was a beam made of innate spirit wood, with countless large night pearls as lamps, and the feet of exotic beasts as pillars. The transparent warm jade on the floor is inlaid with countless gold beads. Looking at the ground from a distance, it is a huge 8 trigrams pattern. Huang Long took a glance at this 8 trigrams pattern and was immediately attracted, as it contained profound wisdom. Just as he was about to gain some understanding, he was called away by the Jade Cauldron. "Junior brother, what's wrong with you? The teacher is inside the palace ahead, so the two of us should go quickly to meet the teacher." Upon hearing this, Huang Long gave a bright smile and followed the steps of the jade tripod, walking quickly towards the front. The closer he approached the palace in front, the more Huang Long felt an indescribable charm. He only felt that this charm had the essence of the Tao. The two of them entered the palace and saw that Yuan Shi Tian Zun was currently comprehending the heavenly way. Huang Long entered the palace and looked at Yuan Shi Tian Zun. After just one glance, he dared not look again. In his eyes, the Yuan Shi Heavenly Sovereign was surrounded by countless great paths and principles, as if he could see the great path at a glance. But he didn't dare to look, first of all because the Yuan Shi Heavenly Lord was extremely concerned about the rules. If he kept staring at the Yuan Shi Heavenly Lord, it would be ignoring the rules and he wouldn't be directly driven down the mountain by the Yuan Shi Heavenly Lord. Secondly, it is because he has not yet dealt with his own karmic issues. If he has made a breakthrough by watching the Primordial Heavenly Lord's Bodhisattva, what should he do if his karmic impact backfires again? Although this is a sage dojo, the Yuan Shi Heavenly Lord is not far from him, but he dare not gamble. If his own karma backfires and Yuan Shi Heavenly Lord does not take action to save him, then he will truly be like his original body, directly annihilating the Yuan Shi. Yuan Shi Tian Zun opened his eyes and looked at the two with dignity. "Jade Ding and Yellow Dragon, why are you two here?" Yuding and Huang Long had been bowing their heads all along. At this moment, when they heard Yuan Shi Tian Zun's inquiry, they took a step forward and bowed to Yuan Shi Tian Zun. "Disciple Yuding, disciple Huang Long, pay respects to the teacher." After a formal bow, he looked at the Heavenly Emperor Yuan Shi. Yuding looked at Yuan Shi Tian Zun, but he spoke up first. "Teacher, I have a difficult problem that I can't solve after much thought. I'm here to ask the teacher." Yuan Shi Tian Zun heard the words of the Jade Cauldron and looked at it. "Yuding disciple, if you have any doubts about your cultivation, then speak up and I will explain it to you." Upon hearing this, Yuding immediately expressed her own question. Huang Long listened attentively on the side. After all, if he encounters this question in the future, he can also know how to avoid it. Huang Long listened while thinking in his heart about how to seek the 3 lights divine water from Yuan Shi Tian Zun later. P.S. The new book sets sail. Kneel down and beg everyone to cast some flowers, evaluate tickets, monthly tickets, and give rewards. Even a single flower, an evaluation ticket, 100 tips, or a monthly pass can do it. I hope everyone can greatly support me. Chapter 4. Honest Words, 3 Lights of Divine Water. New. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. After Yuan Shi Tian Zun finished explaining, he looked at the jade tripod and saw that it had already understood. His eyes showed a look of satisfaction, and then he looked at Huang Long with a look of helplessness in his eyes. For Huang Long, a disciple, he is very helpless. He comes from the Dragon Clan and is naturally burdened with the karma of the Dragon Clan. In this situation, even if he accepts him as a disciple, there has been no progress in his path for thousands of years. Yuan Shi Tian Zun is even considering whether to use the spiritual energy of elucidation to suppress his karmic power and improve his moral cultivation. After all, Huang Long is his disciple. Although he has always held himself high, his disciple always represents himself when he goes out. But on second thought, he also wanted to see if Huang Long could comprehend the Jade Void scripture he passed down. The focus of the Jade Void scripture he passed down to his 12 disciples was different. The Yuxu manual was created by him, but he changed it based on the characteristics of the 12 disciples before passing it on to everyone. Guangchengzi, Yuxu, Cihang, and others focus on the primordial spirit. Yuding focuses on the path of the physical body, Yanzongzi focuses on the path of the primordial spirit and refining weapons, and what is given to Huang Long focuses on the path of the physical body. However, inside it, there is a hidden divine ability to understand karmic determination, which depends on whether Huang Long can comprehend it on its own. As the teacher of Huang Long, although he is biased among his disciples, Huang Long is still his own disciple, and this cultivation method has been passed down to him. After all, he is his own disciple, and since he has accepted it, he should still give the cultivation method. As for how far Huang Long can cultivate, it depends on himself. Master leads the way in and cultivates oneself. In the path of cultivation, he can only provide guidance to others, explain the Tao, pass on martial arts and divine powers. As for how far he can go, it is not something he can guarantee. After all, everyone's footwork is different, their understanding is different, and their luck is also different. In this way, no one can decide what to do. Huang Long disciple, you have come to find me as a teacher, but what doubts do you have about cultivation? Upon hearing this, Huang Long looked at Yuan Shi Tian Zun and then respectfully bowed. Teacher, the disciple has come to understand a divine power in the Jade Void scripture, which can solve the disciple's own karma, but it requires a divine water. Please bestow it upon the disciple. After much thought, Huang Long decided to speak up directly without hesitation. After all, Yuan Shi Tian Zun is a saint. If you have been beating around the bush with a saint, don't you think you have lived too long? What kind of existence does Yuan Shi Tian Zun exist, how many things he has experienced, and some things, as long as he speaks, Yuan Shi Tian Zun can know what it is for. He was not favored by the Primordial Heavenly Sovereign. If he were to be disliked by the Primordial Heavenly Sovereign again due to something above his words, wouldn't he be heading towards a dead end for himself? Speak it out confidently, but it is impossible to say that Yuan Shi Tian Zun, knowing his own needs, directly bestowed it upon him. After all, he is still the direct disciple of Yuan Shi Tian Zun, and even if Yuan Shi Tian Zun doesn't like him anymore, he is still a direct disciple. Yuan Shi Tian Zun looked at Huang Long with a surprised expression in his eyes. Huang Long disciple, do you mean that you have comprehended the divine power of resolving karma from the Jade Void scripture? Huang Long heard Yuan Shi Tian Zun's inquiry and nodded. Yes, teacher. The disciples have been comprehending the Jade Void scripture for thousands of years, during which their cultivation has not made any progress, but they have already gained some understanding. This divine power is called Yi-Hua-Fen Tian, which has great power. However, it is somewhat difficult to achieve success in cultivation. This divine power requires condensing one's own karma onto a point, then starting to ignite and continuously purifying the power of karmic fire until the purest source of karmic fire remains. In this way, one's own karma can be resolved. Moreover, the source of karmic fire possesses the power of martial arts. In the future, when dealing with people, one only needs to use the source of karmic fire to ignite the enemy's karmic power and burn it to death. Yuan Shi Tian Zun heard Huang Long's words and his eyes showed surprise. He was passed down in the Jade Void manual of Huang Long, which contains a divine power with multiple connotations. However, it is not the source of karmic fire, but rather the suppression of one's own karmic power through the method of qi transportation. But at this moment, the divine power that Huang Long comprehended was completely different from the one he passed down. One is suppression, which cannot fundamentally solve one's own karma. It can only control one's karma and not hinder one's own cultivation. One way is to condense and burn it into a source of fire, fundamentally solving the problem of karma. It can also condense it into an attack and defeat divine power, attacking and killing enemies. At this moment, Yuan Shi Tian Zun looked at Huang Long with a hint of joy in his eyes. He did not expect Huang Long to have such intelligence and comprehend such supernatural powers. Huang Long disciple, what divine water do you need? Upon hearing the words of Yuan Shi Tian Zun, Huang Long was overjoyed and quickly spoke them out. Teacher, disciples need the three lights divine water. I hope the teacher can bestow the three lights divine water on the disciples to help them overcome their own karmic troubles. Upon hearing this, Yuan Shi Tian Zun looked at Huang Long and pondered for a moment before seeing a jade vase floating around him. Huang Long disciple, this jade bottle contains the three light divine water that you need. Today, this three light divine water is bestowed upon you. I hope you can solve your own karmic problems as soon as possible and fulfill your teacher's wishes. Upon hearing this, Huang Long bowed solemnly to the Heavenly Emperor Yuanshi. Teacher, please rest assured that the disciples will not disappoint the teacher's high expectations and will completely solve their own karmic problems. Upon hearing this, Yuan Shi Tian Zun smiled with satisfaction, then closed his eyes and went to comprehend the heavenly way. Upon seeing this, Yuding and Huang Long both respectfully bowed and then left the Yuxu palace, walking towards the foot of the mountain. The two of them walked together, straight to the foot of the mountain. Huang Long junior brother, you now have a way to solve karmic problems. Therefore, I would like to wish junior brother a speedy liberation from the troubles of karmic problems and make achievements on the path. Huang Long looked at the jade tripod and also smiled. Yuding senior brother, this time he will definitely solve his own karmic problem and start pursuing the Tao. Upon hearing this, Yuding no longer delayed Huang Long, but bid farewell to him and returned to his own cave. Upon seeing this, Huang Long no longer stayed, but headed straight to the cave at the foot of the mountain, ready to solve his own karmic problem. Now that the three light divine water has been obtained, the next step is to condense the karmic fire, ignite it, and free oneself from the troubles of karmic power. P.S. The new book sets sail. Kneel down and beg everyone to cast some flowers, evaluate tickets, monthly tickets, and give rewards. Even a single flower, an evaluation ticket, 100 tips, or a monthly pass can do it. I hope everyone can greatly support me. Chapter 5. The Source of Condensing Industry Fire. New Book Counting. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. Huang Long returned to the foot of Kunlun Mountain, walked into the cave he had opened, and then opened the formation restriction, preparing to consume his own karma. He was unaware that the Yuanshi Heavenly Lord had left behind the method of suppressing karmic energy in the Jade Void scripture passed down to him. Even if he knew, he would not apply it. If we use the method of great energy to suppress karma, then we need to have great energy, and where does it come from? The Dragon Clan sits in the land of the Four Seas, and the energy of the Four Seas has already been used by the Dragon Clan to suppress the massive karmic power generated during the Three-Clan War. However, he joined the Chan sect and became a disciple of the Yuanshi Heavenly Lord. If the Yuanshi Heavenly Lord was willing, he had already used his energy to suppress his karmic power. Now, the karmic fire-burning divine power he has come to understand from the Jade Void scripture, which can ignite his own karmic power and condense the source of karmic fire, is the best choice for him. Huang Long sat upright on a putuan, which was woven from the unique innate herb Jingxin grass on Kunlun Mountain. It was designed to concentrate and meditate during cultivation. Sitting on a cushion, he took out the jade vase bestowed upon him by the Primordial Heavenly Sovereign and looked at it with a solemn expression in his eyes. He didn't expect that the Primordial Heavenly Sovereign would easily bestow these three light divine waters upon him. It should be noted that these three light divine waters are the top healing medicine in the vast world. Huang Long looked at the jade vase and thought it was the Yuanshi Heavenly Sovereign who cherished his wings. He was afraid that his personal disciple's cultivation would remain in this realm of true immortality, and he would lose face when he left. After driving all his thoughts out of his body, Huang Long no longer daydreamed, but prepared to condense the source of karmic fire. At this moment, for him, the most important thing is still his own karmic power. Only by eradicating his own karmic power can he improve his spiritual cultivation, confidently break through his current cultivation, and have a broader future. Huang Long reached out and grabbed the jade vase, then stood up and walked towards a stone. Using his own magic, he turned it into a stone jar. Looking at this stone jar, it attracted the nearby Xiantian spirit spring, then opened the jade jar and poured in a drop of 3 light divine water. After pouring the 3 lights divine water into the stone jar, 3 colors appeared. Huang Long watched this scene without much imagination, but his eyes showed a resolute expression. He removed his Taoist robe and then began to step into the stone jar. At this moment, he is already preparing to condense his divine power, the burning of the fire, and to condense the source of the fire. As soon as he entered the stone jar, Huang Long felt a refreshing and comfortable sensation spreading throughout his body. He knew that this was the effect of the 3 light divine water. Although he had no injuries on his body now, the 3 light divine water was the first healing medicine in the vast world, and its efficacy was so strong that it was difficult to find in the world. Huang Long calmed down his mind and then prepared to start condensing the source of karmic fire. As he began to gaze upon himself with his own vitality, he saw countless black energies attached to him like gangrene, condensing into a black halo outside his body. Huang Long looked at this halo and couldn't help but furrow his brow. He didn't know why he had so much karma. It should be noted that he has never participated in a war among the 3 tribes, nor has he slaughtered any creatures. As a pure-blooded dragon tribe, he has so much karma that he cannot help but frown. With so much karma, if it were someone else, how many creatures would have to be slaughtered in order to have this massive karma? Fortunately, he now has a solution. If not, even if he works hard, he will never be able to achieve success. At this moment, he finally understood why his original form was later called the 4 No True People. With such a huge amount of karma, if it were someone else, he would have already died in the battle of sealing gods. But he, on the other hand, was able to survive the battle of the gods and live well in the end, relying on the protection of the Primordial Heavenly Lord. At this moment, Huang Long looked at his immense karmic power with some hesitation in his heart. In order to prevent accidents, he dropped drops of the 3 light divine water from everywhere in the jade jar and into the stone jar to avoid accidents later on. After completing all of this, Huang Long's own spiritual power controls his own karma, converging towards a point and beginning to condense the source of karmic fire. People are all afraid of karma and have their own karma. They all want to disperse it and finally find ways to eliminate it. But there are very few who can eliminate karma. He knows that the 12-grade fire red lotus can eliminate one's own karma, and these 12-grade fire red lotus are the ultimate innate spiritual treasures in the hands of the master of the blood sea, the Styx River ancestor. The ancestor of the Styx River is one of the great supernatural beings in the vast and desolate world, and the boundless sea of blood is also a great ominous place in the vast and desolate world. Who would go there? And he is just a small cultivator in the realm of true immortals. Not to mention going to the boundless sea of blood, even if he reaches the boundless sea of blood, he cannot find the ancestor of the Styx River. Moreover, the water of the sea of blood has extremely strong corrosiveness, and he is afraid that if he gets some, he will be melted. As he continuously gathers his own karma, the extremely black karma becomes ink-rich and extremely black. In the end, under the continuous gathering of Huang Long, we reached a peak, and finally, a glimmer of fire appeared. With the appearance of this flicker of fire, an accident occurred, and countless karmic energies were constantly ignited, eventually forming a huge flame. Huang Long couldn't help but take a cold breath as he watched the appearance of this flame, and then immersed his whole body in water. The emergence of flames constantly burned towards his body, vowing to burn it to death. However, he was inside the 3 light divine water, which was constantly repairing his physical body. As a result, the karmic fire continued to burn his body, while the flames continued to repair his physical body. As time passed, Huang Long felt that the speed of the recovery of the 3 light divine water had slowed down. He knew that this was because the 3 light divine water was almost depleted. Thinking of this, he immediately manipulated the jade bottle again, dropped a drop of 3 light divine water, and then accelerated the speed of body repair. So, time passes extremely quickly. On this day, a dragon chant echoed through the entire Kunlun mountains, and the sound of the dragon chant startled countless exotic beasts running around and birds flying away. In the Yuxu palace, Yuan Shi Tian Zun heard the dragon chant and a smile appeared on his face. He knew that this was Huang Long's successful condensation of the source of industry fire. At the foot of Kunlun mountain, inside Huang Long cave, a black flame floats in front of Huang Long at this moment. Huang Long opened his eyes and looked at the black flame, with a joyful expression in his eyes. He endured such great pain and ultimately succeeded in burning the karmic fire to the heavens, condensing the source of the karmic fire. At this moment, he has finally completely eradicated his own karma, and in the future, the cultivation of the Tao will be a smooth path. Now, if he breaks through his own realm, he no longer needs to worry about the backlash of karma. Now that the problem of karma has been solved, the next step is to break through one's own realm of cultivation. P.S. The new book sets sail. Kneel down and beg everyone to cast some flowers, evaluate tickets, monthly tickets, and give rewards. Even a single flower, an evaluation ticket, 100 tips, or a monthly pass can do it. I hope everyone can greatly support me. Chapter 6. The mysterious immortal realm becomes shocking explanatory disciple. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. In the cave, Huang Long came out of the stone jar, put on a Taoist robe placed aside, and walked towards the side. At this moment, he sat on the cushion, but found himself much more relaxed. Before, there was always a layer of isolation between heaven and earth, making it extremely difficult to absorb innate spiritual energy. At this moment, this layer of isolation had already disappeared, and he could feel the extremely rich innate spiritual energy inside the cave. At this moment, he knew that all of this was because he had rooted out his own karma. Previously, due to karmic difficulties, his cultivation was more than 100 times more difficult than that of ordinary people. Nowadays, with the eradication of karma, one has no own karma. If one cultivates, it will be unintentional to ordinary people, and may even surpass others. After all, he is a dragon bloodline, an innate divine beast, with a naturally strong physical body and the ability to control the power of wind, rain, and lightning. In this way, his cultivation will be much faster than that of ordinary people. Huang Long sat cross-legged on the tranquil lotus, ready to try to break through his own realm of Taoism. He has been stuck in the realm of true immortality for thousands of years, and if it weren't for karmic issues, he would have broken through early on. However, due to the troubles of karma, there has been no breakthrough. Huang Long decided to break through his own realm of Taoism and become a cultivator in the realm of Xianxian. Huang Long began to close down, no longer waiting, and began to break through his current cultivation, taking steps towards the realm of Xianxian. However, during Huang Long's seclusion, the other disciples of the Chan sect gathered together in groups of 3 or 2. They gathered together because of the sound of dragon chants just now. In the Kunlun mountains, the sound of dragon chanting represents the yellow dragon. Everyone gazed down from halfway up the mountain, unconsciously revealing a look of contemplation. Senior brother, should we go down and take a look? If Huang Long junior brother really has something to do, we can also rescue him in time. The Zihang Taoist beside him looked towards the foot of the mountain, pondered for a while, and finally said these words. Upon hearing this, Guang Qingzi frowned. As the eldest disciple of Yuan Shi Tian Zun and the eldest senior brother of everyone, he is revered by everyone on a daily basis. This is because Yuan Shi Tian Zun's love for Guang Qingzi far exceeds that of others, and coupled with his moral cultivation, everyone naturally regards him as a respected person. Guang Qingzi gazed at the foot of the mountain and sighed helplessly. Sigh. It's always our junior brother. The sound of the dragon's chant just now should have been made by junior brother Huang Long. Let's go to junior brother Huang Long's cave to investigate. After finishing his words, Guang Qingzi looked at the crowd with a majestic glance. Everyone nodded in agreement upon hearing this statement. Led by Guang Qingzi, everyone walked towards the foot of the mountain and went to the cave of Huang Long to check if there was anything wrong with Huang Long. Just before arriving at Guang Qingzi's cave, everyone noticed the abnormality of innate spiritual energy. I saw countless innate spiritual energy rushing towards the cave of Huang Long, and inside it, a huge suction came out, sucking in endless innate spiritual energy. Everyone frowned when they saw this scene. Isn't it difficult for junior brother Huang Long to break through the realm? This innate spiritual energy is pouring into his cave, so it should be a breakthrough realm, right? Immortal Yuxu said these words and looked at Huang Long's cave in surprise. When everyone heard this, they all nodded and nodded. They all know that Huang Long was born into the Dragon Clan, and due to the issue of Dragon Clan karma, it was extremely difficult to break through the realm. After joining the sect of Yuan Shi Tian Zun, there was no breakthrough. At this moment, there was a breakthrough, and everyone couldn't help but be surprised. On the side, the Jade Immortal remembered the incident where he had gone to the Jade Void Palace with Huang Long to meet the Primordial Heavenly Sovereign. At this moment, he understood that Huang Long had truly eradicated his own karma. He looked at Huang Long's cave with an excited expression in his eyes. "Senior brother, I know what's going on." Upon hearing these words, Guang Qingzi looked at the Jade Cauldron with a hint of inquiry in his eyes. Yuding saw Guang Qingzi's gaze and immediately began to speak. "Senior brother, all senior brothers and junior brothers. Previously, I went to the Yuxu Palace with junior brother Huang Long to meet with the teacher. I had a question about my cultivation and planned to go and ask the teacher. Unexpectedly, junior brother Huang Long was also going, so I went with junior brother Huang Long. When meeting the teacher, Huang Long junior brother once said that he had already found a way to eliminate his own karma. It seems that Huang Long junior brother has truly succeeded in eliminating his own karma and breaking through his moral cultivation." After Yuding Jinren finished speaking, he looked excitedly at Huang Long's cave. Upon hearing these words, Guang Qingzi, Tai, Cihang, Wenshu, Puxian, Daoxing, Yuxu, and others all showed a surprised expression on their faces. What kind of method is needed to eliminate one's own karma? Note that it is extremely difficult to eliminate karma. Everyone only knows that to eliminate karma, one can only rely on the power of merit, but they have never heard of any other methods. Just as everyone was pondering, a wave of pressure spread from within the Huang Long cave, pressing towards them. Everyone felt this pressure with a shocked expression on their faces. From this pressure, they already understood that their Yellow Dragon junior brother had truly eliminated his own karma, and his Taoist realm had also broken through, crossing from the true immortal realm to the mysterious immortal realm. Inside the cave, Huang Long opened his eyes and a smile appeared at the corner of his mouth. At this moment, he has finally achieved a breakthrough, from the true immortal realm to the mysterious immortal realm. After Huang Long completed his breakthrough, he no longer absorbed his innate spiritual energy, and the innate spiritual energy pulled by him scattered in all directions. At this moment, he looked up outside the cave, but was somewhat puzzled as to why the other 11 disciples of the Chan sect would stand in front of his cave. As early as when everyone arrived, he had already sensed something, but at that time, he was about to break through his cultivation and did not pay attention. At this moment, he had completed the breakthrough and looked outside, but he was somewhat puzzled. But no matter what, since everyone has arrived outside his cave, there is something going on. He must go out to greet everyone and inquire about what is going on. Huang Long stood up and walked towards the outside of the cave to meet everyone. P.S. The new book sets sail. Kneel down and beg everyone to cast some flowers, evaluate tickets, monthly tickets, and give rewards. Even a single flower, an evaluation ticket, 100 tips, or a monthly pass can do it. I hope everyone can greatly support me. Chapter 7. Everyone's Thoughts, The Golden Bell Ring, Gathering Jade. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. Huang Long walked towards the outside of the cave, withdrew the previously arranged formation restrictions, and then stepped out. Outside the cave, I saw the other 11 disciples of Yuan Shi Tian Zun who were personally passed down, with a solemn expression on their faces. I have met senior brother, I have met all senior brothers." Upon hearing this, Guangchengzi looked at Huang Long with a hint of surprise in his eyes. Guangchengzi is now in the realm of the Golden Immortal, so it is natural to see that Huang Long is different from before. I saw that Huang Long now had a stronger and more powerful aura than before, with a deep and mysterious atmosphere all around him. "Huang Long Junior Brother, have you really eradicated your own karma?" as Yuding Junior Brother said. Upon hearing this, Huang Long smiled on his face. At this moment, not only did Guangchengzi have this doubt in his heart, but the other disciples of the teachings also had this doubt. "Senior Brother, after being taught the Jade Void scripture by the teacher, I have been studying it for thousands of years and finally gained some understanding. Now, this body of karma has been eliminated by me. In the future, I no longer need to be troubled by karma." Upon hearing these words, everyone looked at Huang Long, their eyes unchanged, but their hearts turned upside down. They all know how difficult it is to eliminate karma. At this moment, Huang Long has found a way to release the karma. At this moment, everyone wants to discuss with Huang Long how to eliminate this karma. However, the method that can eliminate karma is the supreme method, but everyone doesn't know how to speak. Furthermore, they have never been too close to Huang Long on weekdays, and it would be somewhat abrupt to ask about the Dharma now. Yuding, however, had no such concerns and ignored everyone's thoughts. Instead, he looked directly at Huang Long with a happy expression in his eyes. "Huang Long Junior Brother, I heard Long Yin before and thought something had happened to him. We all had some worries in our hearts before coming. Unexpectedly, Junior Brother not only eliminated his own karma, but also broke through his own realm. Now he is no longer a true immortal realm, but a mysterious immortal realm. Junior Brother, now there is no more karma troubling you. I believe that in the future, Junior Brother will surely soar to the sky and soar to the heavens." Upon hearing this, Huang Long looked at the jade tripod, but a humble smile appeared on his face. "Senior Brother Yuding, without a teacher, there would be no way for me to eliminate this karma. Even with a method, if the teacher bestows the three lights divine water, it cannot be eliminated. Nowadays, being able to perfectly eliminate one's own karma relies entirely on the teacher." Huang Long finished speaking and looked towards the top of Kunlun mountain, bowing in the distance towards the top. In the Yuxu palace, the Yuan Shi Heavenly Sovereign looked at the foot of Kunlun mountain with a pleased expression on his face. "Well, not bad. As soon as my own karma is eliminated, I have broken through the realm of Xianxian. I think there will be some breakthroughs in the future." Yuan Shi Tian Zun only glanced at the foot of the mountain and knew what had happened. He also heard the previous dragon chant. He glanced at the cave of the yellow dragon and directly penetrated the restriction of the formation. Looking at the black karmic fire, he already understood that the yellow dragon had condensed its own karmic power into karmic fire. At that time, Yuan Shi Tian Zun looked at Huang Long with some joy in his heart. After all, he was his own disciple, and now that he can make a breakthrough, it is naturally the best. At this moment, Huang Long's words and actions, as well as his respect, greatly benefited Yuan Shi Tian Zun. Yuan Shi Tian Zun looked at the white crane boy outside the palace door and immediately spoke up. "White crane boy, ring the golden bell, summon the disciples of the teachings." Outside the palace gate, the white crane boy heard the words of Yuan Shi Tian Zun and immediately bowed to him before walking to the side. When it arrived at the location of the golden bell, it began to ring. At the foot of Kunlun mountain, everyone was still chatting and congratulating Huang Long on eliminating his own karma and breaking through his own realm of cultivation. However, as the white crane boy rang the golden bell, everyone heard the sound of the bell and looked towards the top of Kunlun mountain. "The teacher summoned us, but for some unknown reason, we quickly went to the Yuxu palace to pay our respects to the teacher." Guangchengzi finished speaking and flew straight towards the top of Kunlun mountain. When everyone saw this, they looked at each other and also flew up towards Kunlun mountain. Jade Ding and Huang Long stood behind the crowd, hearing the sound of the golden bell. They exchanged glances and no longer stopped, rushing towards the Jade Void Palace. Within the Kunlun Mountains, not only these 12 people, but also hundreds of people, all heading towards the top of the Kunlun Mountains. They are not like Guangchengzi, Yuding, and Huang Long, but are the personal disciples of Yuan Shi Tian Zun. They are only external disciples of preaching and named disciples of Yuan Shi Tian Zun. There are also some people who practice in the Kunlun Mountains. At this moment, Emperor Yuanshi ordered the white crane boy to ring the golden bell, and they also went to the top of Kunlun Mountain to pay their respects to Emperor Yuanshi. Everyone arrived at the top of Kunlun Mountain, then walked to the Yuxu Palace, where they met the Heavenly Emperor Yuanshi. The sage dojo, even if it is a disciple passed down by the sage, cannot fly, which is a respect for the sage. If flying at the sage dojo, it would be disrespectful to the sage. It is impossible to say that in the next moment, one's wealth and life will be lost. Everyone walked into the Yuxu Palace and looked at the Yuan Shi Tian Zun sitting above, all respectfully bowing. We pay respects to the teacher. Yuan Shi Tian Zun opened his eyes, glanced at everyone, and slowly nodded. You all sit still, and as a teacher, I will preach the great way. Upon hearing these words, everyone sat towards the nearby Putuan and then gathered their breath to calm their minds, quietly waiting for the Yuanshi Heavenly Lord to preach the great way. Outside the Yuxu Palace, there are already hundreds of people standing there, waiting quietly. They are only external disciples and named disciples, as well as those who practice in the Kunlun Mountains, but they cannot enter the Jade Void Palace. Only the personally transmitted disciples of Yuan Shi Tian Zun can enter the Yuxu Palace. At this moment, everyone heard that Yuan Shi Tian Zun was about to preach the great way, all sitting in front of the Yuxu Palace gate, holding their breath and preparing to listen to Yuan Shi Tian Zun's explanation of the great way. For everyone, the sage preaching is an unparalleled opportunity and indispensable. There are only 6 saints of the heavenly way between heaven and earth, namely the Supreme Master Laozi, the Primordial Heavenly Emperor, the Master of the Tongtian sect, the Sage of Nyuhua, the Sage of Jian, and the Sage of Zhuanti. The 6 saints of the heavenly way are the supreme beings in the vast world. Their understanding of the way is beyond everyone's reach. Being able to hear the sages preach is their great opportunity and source of great blessings. There are countless creatures in the vast and desolate world, and how many creatures can hear the sage explain the way? Everyone will not miss this opportunity, they all look like they are listening. Huang Long is also like this at this moment. The sage preaches, but for him, there is no chance. He must listen carefully. P.S. The new book sets sail. Kneel down and beg everyone to cast some flowers, evaluate tickets, monthly tickets, and give rewards. Even a single flower, an evaluation ticket, 100 tips, or a monthly pass can do it. I hope everyone can greatly support me. Chapter 8. The Heavenly Master of Yuanshi preaches, achieving the realm of the Golden Immortal. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. Yuan Shi Tian Zun looked at everyone with majestic eyes and saw that they were ready, so he slowly spoke up. At the moment of its opening, countless sacred charms appeared, filling the entire Jade Void Palace. Countless sacred charms transform into divine dragons, soaring in the sky, colorful phoenixes dancing among them, and Qilin treading on auspicious clouds. Above the Jade Void Palace, countless innate spiritual energies condensed into smallpox, floating in the void. On the ground, countless golden lotus appeared, slowly rising. Yuan Shi Tian Zun began to preach, and countless Tao accumulations appeared, surrounding everyone and wrapping them around. Behind Yuan Shi Tian Zun, a huge pillar of light appeared, emitting endless light to illuminate everyone. The light emitted by the pillar of light shines upon everyone, and every ray of light is a force of law. In the Jade Void Palace, the preaching crowd was so intoxicated that they fell completely engrossed in the preaching of the Primordial Heavenly Sovereign. This is not the first time Huang Long has listened to the teachings of Yuan Shi Tian Zun, but due to karmic difficulties, he has gained very little from each lecture and cannot understand many aspects at all. This time, it was different. He eliminated his own karma and listened to the teachings of the Primordial Heavenly Lord again, but he had a different feeling. At this moment, Huang Long felt like he was silent in the Tao Zhili, as if he was enveloped in the long river of the Tao. This feeling fascinated him immensely. Meanwhile, due to the lack of karma, the body instinctively absorbs and refines the surrounding smallpox and golden lotus. He had never felt that he was so close to the Tao. All the mysterious truths of the Tao were now lifted from his veil, and he could see them clearly. Many insights surged into his heart like a tide, and his own path and magic were soaring. As you listen to the teachings of the sages, you have come to understand the unique breathing technique, the dragon scale breathing technique. Due to listening to the teachings of the sage, you have gained a clearer understanding of Yuqing Shunlei. Due to listening to the teachings of the sages, you have gained a deeper understanding of the Jade Void scripture. Due to listening to the teachings of the sages, you have gained a deeper understanding of the Xianhuang body and have modified it to be the Xianhuang indestructible body. High level, Xianhuang is indestructible, while the dragon fights in the wild. Its blood is Xianhuang, soaring in the 9 heavens, and my body is indestructible. 100 years later. Due to your listening to the teachings of the sages, you have gained a deeper understanding of the 9 Transformations Pure Element Sutra, which has been further revised to become the 9 Transformations Immortal Sutra. High level, the 9 Transformations Immortal Sutra allows the primordial spirit and physical body to practice together. After the 9 transformations, one can attain enlightenment. Not only that, Huang Long was still unconsciously using his full body magic, constantly absorbing smallpox and golden lotus, and began to condense himself. At this moment, he began to cultivate the immortal dragon spirit and used his own magic to refine his own dragon scales. I saw 1,000 Zhang Long dragon appearing inside the Jade Void Palace, horizontally crossing it. When Yuan Shi Tian Zun saw this scene, he also noticed it. He only glanced at the yellow dragon and then used his divine power to isolate it from the others. At this moment it was evident that Huang Long's entire body was bulging with dragon scales, vigorously absorbing the smallpox and golden lotus. Under the dragon scale breathing technique, the smallpox and golden lotus in the Yuxu palace converge towards it, and in just an instant, they are enveloped by countless smallpox and golden lotus. At this moment, the yellow dragon was silent in the world of smallpox and golden lotus. Countless smallpox and golden lotus were absorbed into its body by it, and then refined by it, starting to refine its own dragon scales. Yuan Shi Tian Zun noticed the unusual movements of the smallpox and golden lotus in the Yuxu palace, thinking that a disciple had broken through the path of cultivation. He opened his eyes and looked at the disciples, only to see Huang Long absorbing the smallpox and golden lotus using the dragon scale breathing technique. This breathing technique was created by Huang Long and is unique. It is the first time it has appeared in the vast world. However, when Yuan Shi Tian Zun first saw it, he realized that he had gained a lot. Yuan Shi Tian Zun watched as 2/3 of the ceiling and golden lotus in the Jade Void Palace were absorbed by Huang Long alone. With a flick of his finger, he shattered the space of the Jade Void Palace, causing endless chaotic energy to flow out. When he cast a spell, it transformed into innate spiritual energy, which later transformed into ceiling and golden lotus for everyone to absorb. Yuan Shi Tian Zun watched as Huang Long used his own magic to refine the dragon scales, and already knew that he had gained some understanding. Huang Long, however, was unaware of these things. At this moment, he was constantly refining his entire body's dragon scales, horns, and claws using his own magic. At this moment, the yellow dragon was covered in dragon scales, which were even brighter. The originally yellow dragon scales, under the tempering of its great magic, had gradually become a dark yellow color. Huang Long's dragon scales are already comparable to lower-grade postnatal spiritual treasures. At this time, after being tempered with its own magic, it is already moving towards the middle-grade postnatal spiritual treasures. With a pair of dragon horns on top of his head, he was originally comparable to a mid-level postnatal spiritual treasure. At this time, under the refinement of Huang Long magic, he was already marching towards a top-grade postnatal spiritual treasure. For dragon claws, with incredibly sharp claws, shimmering with a hint of coldness under the shining holy light. At this moment, the dragon claw is already comparable to a top-grade acquired spiritual treasure. Yuan Shi Tian Zun couldn't help but nod to himself as he watched this scene. At this moment, Huang Long uses his body as a tool to refine himself, sacrificing his entire body of dragon scales, horns, and claws as spiritual treasures. In this way, he has gained the essence of his weapon refining techniques. Yuan Shi Tian Zun only watched for a moment, then stopped watching and continued preaching. 1,000 years have passed in a blink of an eye, during which all the disciples of the teachings have achieved something. They have broken through their original cultivation and advanced to the realm of the Golden Immortal. Guan Qingzi was originally in the realm of the Golden Immortal, but now he has reached the perfect realm of the Golden Immortal. His whole body is full of mixed energy, and he can break through at any time. And what about Huang Long? During this millennium, he not only sacrificed and refined his own dragon horns, scales, and claws, but also refined them into the dragon spirit immortal body. He further deduced the original Xianhuang body into the Xianhuang immortal body, and the 9 transformations pure Yuan classic was also derived into the 9 transformations immortal classic. Moreover, I have once again made a breakthrough in my own realm of Taoism, transitioning from the realm of Xianxian to the realm of Jingxian. I have a strong aura throughout my body, pure magical power, and a stable path. After a preaching session by Yuan Shi Tian Zun, he gained the most. Yuan Shi Tian Zun has been preaching for thousands of years, but at this moment, he no longer preaches the way, but stops. At the moment when Yuan Shi Tian Zun stopped preaching, all the surrounding visions disappeared and disappeared. But the crowd did not wake up and remain silent on the main road. Upon seeing this, Yuan Shi Tian Zun glanced at the crowd and then departed to comprehend the heavenly way. P.S. The new book sets sail. Kneel down and beg everyone to cast some flowers, evaluate tickets, monthly tickets, and give rewards. Even a single flower, an evaluation ticket, 100 tips, or a monthly pass can do it. I hope everyone can greatly support me. Chapter 9. Thoughts of the Yellow Dragon, Disciple Q.A. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. Time flies like a white horse, and 100 years pass in an instant. On this day, Huang Long woke up from his enlightenment, opened his eyes, and looked ahead. At this point, the Primordial Heavenly Sovereign no longer explained the Tao. Huang Long saw a group of senior brothers still silent within the Tao, so he no longer paid attention to everyone, but instead used the primordial spirit to illuminate himself. At this moment, under his gaze, he had already broken through the realm of Xianxian and reached the realm of Jingxian. His magical power was extremely pure, his path was profound, and his breath was complete. Obviously, we have reached the perfect state of the Golden Immortal. We only need to condense the 5 qi in our chest before we can break through and enter the Tai realm. Not only that, he also cultivated into an indestructible dragon spirit body, refining his own dragon horns, scales, and claws once. At this moment, his dragon horns and claws are already comparable to top-grade postnatal spiritual treasures, and his body is covered in dragon scales, which are also comparable to top-grade postnatal spiritual treasures. Huang Long couldn't help but smile when he saw this. At this moment, his strength is already incomparable, and with his current strength, he can also be considered a strong figure among the Dragon Clan. Of course, he can only be the Dragon Clan after the 3-clan war, and the Dragon Clan that survived during the 3-clan war is incomparable. As far as Huang Long knows, there are 2 powerful individuals within the Dragon Clan. One is Zhu Long, the younger brother of the ancestral dragon with unpredictable strength, and the other is the wife and mother of the ancestral dragon. These 2 great masters guard the Dragon Palace and control the 4 seas. It is precisely because of their existence that the Dragon Clan has been able to occupy the 4 seas and become the masters of them. Of course, the great experts within the Dragon Clan are not only their own existence, but also the 9 dragons. They are the sons of the ancestral dragon and the second generation of the dragon clan. Their strength has already reached the realm of the great Luo Golden Immortal. The dragon clan, precisely because of their existence, even after the decline of the dragon clan after the 3-clan war, still holds the position of being the top tier in the world's scale armor. At this moment, Huang Long is pondering whether to return to the dragon clan, search for the 5 elements innate spiritual objects, and break through the realm of Tai Golden Immortal. However, if it returns to the dragon clan, will there be any other troubles? Just as Huang Long was pondering, Guang Chengzi and others had already awakened. Everyone woke up from the main road, and then, under the leadership of Guang Chengzi, they all bowed to the Heavenly Emperor Yuanshi. Thank you, teacher, for explaining the Tao. Upon hearing this, Yuan Shi Tian Zun opened his eyes and gazed at the crowd. Seeing that all 12 of his personally transmitted disciples had already broken through the realm of the Golden Immortal, he couldn't help but nod with satisfaction. He looked at Huang Long with an appreciative gaze. Previously, due to his own karmic issues, Huang Long was unable to break through the realm of cultivation, resulting in him being the bottom performer among others. Now, despite eliminating one's own karma, one has made consecutive breakthroughs and caught up with others. At this moment, Yuan Shi Tian Zun is somewhat relieved. In this way, all the disciples who pass down their lineage have arrived at the Golden Immortal realm, and even if they go out, they will not lose face. After all, the 12 disciples of the Golden Immortal sect are already quite impressive. They have only been under his tutelage for thousands of years and have achieved some success. This also indicates that his teaching method is still very successful. Of course, this also cannot be separated from his gaze. The disciples he has chosen, whether they are obedient or intelligent, are all first-class beings. If you have any questions, feel free to raise them. At this moment, everyone outside the Yuxu palace had not left. They knew that the QA session between Yuan Shi Tian Zun and his disciples had not yet ended, and they all wanted to stay and listen. As disciples of the external sect and named disciples, as well as those who practice in the blessed land of Kunlun mountain, they cannot ask questions to the Primordial Heavenly Sovereign. They can only listen when a group of personally transmitted disciples ask questions. Of course, this listening experience is also a great opportunity. Yuan Shi Tian Zun is a saint, and the questions raised by everyone are explained by Yuan Shi Tian Zun, which can directly point to the root of the problem. They may not have encountered this problem now, but it is difficult to guarantee that they will not encounter such problems in the future, and how to avoid and solve such problems will not save a lot of hard work. Upon hearing this, all the disciples began to raise their own questions. As the eldest senior brother of everyone, Guang Chengzi was the first to raise his own doubts, and Yuan Shi Tian Zun began to answer them. Huang Long was also listening on the side to avoid encountering such questions that he could not solve in the future. With each question and answer, 10 years passed like this. When it was Huang Long's turn, Yuan Shi Tian Zun looked at him with a contented expression in his eyes. Upon seeing this, Huang Long also stood up and bowed to Yuan Shi Tian Zun. Teacher, what are the 5 qi and how should they condense? Upon hearing this question, Yuan Shi Tian Zun smiled. Upon hearing this question, Guang Chengzi and others listened attentively with a serious expression on their faces. The 5 qi, including metal, wood, water, fire, and earth, are also the heart, liver, spleen, lungs, and kidneys of the 5 internal organs in the body. The qi of the 5 elements corresponds to the 5 organs, and needs to be guided by the innate spiritual objects of the 5 elements. It should be integrated into the 5 organs of the yin, and once completed, the qi of the 5 elements will be produced. When the qi of the 5 elements is complete, it can merge into one and only. When the qi reaches the top 3 feet, it can achieve the Tai Golden Immortal realm. Tai, without judgment in one breath, the great way is intangible. The representative of Tai Jin Xian is the 5 qi in the chest. Upon hearing this, Huang Long nodded and then asked questions. Teacher, is it possible to have all the innate 5 elements and spiritual objects? Will there be any conflict? Yuan Shi Tian Zun looked at Huang Long and couldn't help but nod in satisfaction as he thought about things in such detail. The innate 5 elements spiritual objects should be equal, not that the higher the level, the better. Instead, innate 5 elements spiritual objects of the same level must be merged. If not, one high and one low will cause conflicts between the 5 elements, leading to the explosion of the body and death. Upon hearing this, Huang Long respectfully bowed to the Heavenly Emperor Yuanshi. Thank you very much for the explanation, teacher. Yuan Shi Tian Zun looked at the crowd and saw that Huang Long's question had ended, so he ended his sermon. Let's all go back. Today's preaching is over, and I will notify you again in the future. Upon hearing this, everyone bowed respectfully to the Heavenly Emperor Yuanshi. Thank you very much, teacher. Disciples and others will leave first. Yuan Shi Tian Zun nodded and then closed his eyes to comprehend the heavenly way and left. Everyone saw this and retreated one by one towards the Jade Void Palace. By the time everyone withdrew, the crowd sitting outside the Jade Void Palace had already dissipated. Everyone looked at each other and headed towards their own cave, obviously to fully comprehend the great path preached by the Primordial Heavenly Sovereign. Huang Long also had this idea and was prepared to go back to the cave to seclude and reflect on what the Primordial Heavenly Sovereign had said, and then contemplate the path of the Golden Immortal. P.S. The new book sets sail. Kneel down and beg everyone to cast some flowers, evaluate tickets, monthly tickets, and give rewards. Even a single flower, an evaluation ticket, 100 tips, or a monthly pass can do it. I hope everyone can greatly support me. 10 chapters of 100 years of time, contemplating breakthroughs. New book. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. After Huang Long returned to his own cave and arranged the formation, he began to comprehend the great way narrated by Yuan Shi Tian Zun. The sage's preaching is extraordinary. Although he has an extraordinary understanding, there are still some aspects that need to be carefully studied. Adversarial enlightenment only allowed him to make achievements on the path of cultivation, but some of the most profound truths require him to comprehend them on his own. At this moment, Huang Long is already full of Taoist techniques and divine powers. In the teachings of the Jade Void Scripture and the Primordial Heavenly Sovereign, he has already comprehended the unique dragon scale breathing technique, which can increase his rapid absorption of innate spiritual energy. Dragon scale breathing technique. During practice, one's own dragon scale will appear on the surface, opening and closing, quickly swallowing innate spiritual energy, greatly improving the speed of absorbing innate spiritual energy. Moreover, he also utilized the Yuan Shi Tian Zun's explanation of the Tao to further improve the Honghuang body that he had previously comprehended from the Jade Void Scripture, becoming the Honghuang immortal body. It had already advanced from the Great Luo Golden Immortal level Tao to the high level Tao. Honghuang does not destroy the body. It requires the use of Honghuang Qi as a guide to successfully cultivate. Once successfully cultivated, one can enhance their physical strength. At that time, the blood in its body will evolve into a dark yellow blood, and the root bone will also have a huge improvement. Its own potential will also be greatly enhanced. However, this Honghuang Qi only existed at the beginning of the universe. It is now unknown where it will appear, and we can only wait for opportunities. If opportunities come, this Honghuang Qi can be obtained. This time during the preaching of the Yuan Shi Heavenly Lord, he successfully cultivated the immortal body of the dragon spirit. With the help of the endless smallpox and golden lotus from the Yuan Shi Heavenly Lord's preaching, he used the dragon scale breathing technique to swallow and transform it into magic, which was then refined. The smallpox and golden lotus used by the Primordial Heavenly Emperor during his preaching are the purest innate spiritual energy that can be condensed into one's own magical power by absorbing it into the body. In this way, he used his own magic to refine the dragon horns, scales, and claws. Now, his dragon horns and claws are comparable to top-grade postnatal spiritual treasures, and his body is covered in dragon scales, which are also comparable to top-grade postnatal spiritual treasures. At this moment, he can be said to have greatly increased his combat power. Even without spiritual treasures, he is not afraid of anyone. Huang Long firmly believes that as long as he perseveres, he can refine the dragon horns, scales, and claws into the existence of top-quality innate spiritual treasures. However, in this way, it requires a large number of innate things to extract and melt the early weather mechanism into oneself. At this moment, he has not yet taken that step, but there is no need to worry. As Huang Long closed his mind and comprehended what Yuan Shi Tian Zun had said, time slowly passed, and in a blink of an eye, 100 years had already passed. Over the course of 100 years, Kunlun Mountain remained silent, with only the exotic and spiritual beasts running around. The innate elixir swallowed the innate spiritual energy there, but no cultivators appeared. During these 100 years, those who have practiced on the Kunlun Mountains have all been digesting the great path explained by the Primordial Heavenly Sovereign in their respective caves. When the Yuan Shi Heavenly Master explained the Tao, everyone gained something. This time, everyone closed their doors and integrated the path of gain into themselves, transforming it into their own strength. Over the course of 100 years, Huang Long has taken his own path to the point where he can break through at any time. However, today he has not found suitable innate spiritual objects that cannot be integrated into his own internal organs, yet he has not broken through the realm of cultivation. The sedimentation of 100 years of time is not only a breakthrough in one's own path, but also a calmness in one's own heart. It is no longer as anxious or floating as before, but truly settled down. Its own mana has also been refined again, making it the pinnacle of Jingchun Blade's mana, which is extremely smooth. At this moment, he had a complete breath and a deep foundation, making up for the thousands of years of wasted time before. Now, if he were to walk between the vast and desolate world and be seen by others, he would definitely say, there is a way of being a Golden Immortal. On this day, Huang Long opened his eyes and two dark lights shot out directly, piercing through the nearby cave and heading towards the distance until they dissipated. In 100 years, I have already digested and completed the path taught by my teacher. Now, there is no way forward, and only by breaking through to the realm of Tai Golden Immortal can I continue to practice. At this moment, Huang Long was pondering how to obtain the innate 5-element spiritual object. If he were to search for it himself, it would not only be a matter of time, but also a chance to find the appropriate innate 5-element spiritual object. Huang Long has always remembered what Yuan Shi Tian Zun said, which is to have equal innate 5-element spiritual objects. Only in this way can he integrate himself and cultivate the 5 qi. Otherwise, as long as there is a slight difference, it will cause the 5 qi to be imbalanced, leading to chaos in his body until he ultimately explodes and dies. However, in this way, it has become even more difficult. To find suitable innate spiritual elements, it not only takes a huge amount of time, but also requires opportunities to find them. At this moment, Huang Long began to think in his heart. He thought of the dragon clan, who was once the ruler of heaven and earth. Although they were now desolate, they were once the rulers of heaven and earth, and should have collected many spiritual objects from heaven and earth. Furthermore, when Tai Lien thought of the East Sea Dragon Palace in later generations, he faced the wealth of the East Sea Dragon King Ao Guang, not to mention the Dragon Clan. He comes from a pure-blooded dragon clan and has now become a disciple of the Yuan Shi Heavenly Master. His identity and status are incomparable. Moreover, the Dragon Clan has always been in a state of mediocrity. During the 3-clan war, the enormous karma left behind makes it extremely difficult for pure-blooded Dragon Clan people to practice. Over the years, few have made progress in their cultivation. And now he is already in the realm of Golden Immortal, about to break through to the level of Tai Golden Immortal. He is also a disciple personally passed down by the Yuan Shi Heavenly Sect. His future path can be described as bright. He believes that as long as he returns to the Dragon Clan and explains his needs to the Candle Dragon and Dragon Mother, he can definitely receive their support. With this in mind, Huang Long made a decision and prepared to go to the East China Sea to seek help from the Dragon Clan. However, if you accept the help of the Dragon Tribe, you have to think about how to help the Dragon Tribe solve that huge karma. After all, he comes from the Dragon Clan. If the Dragon Clan becomes stronger, he can also rely on it as an arm. Otherwise, with the current strength of the Dragon Clan, he is powerless to help too much. At this moment, Huang Long was lost in contemplation, pondering how to solve the immense karma of the dragon race. And he is also preparing to use the Dragon Clan as his future arm to handle some things for him. At least, collecting spiritual items from heaven and earth like now, with the help of the Dragon Clan, can save him a lot of time, which can be used for cultivation and to enhance his own strength. P.S. The new book sets sail. Kneel down and beg everyone to cast some flowers, evaluate tickets, monthly tickets, and give rewards. Even a single flower, an evaluation ticket, 100 tips, or a monthly pass can do it. I hope everyone can greatly support me.